broken pot. This is the first of 6 stories from the book of Jeremiah. It forms a transition. We have been dealing with the divided kingdom, Judah and Israel. Well, the last story was really the last one of that. This now is the first of the 6 books from Jeremiah. If you read Jeremiah, you'll probably have a hard time finding them because Jeremiah is not written in chronological order. To craft these 6 stories, I had to take Jeremiah and rearrange it in chronological order. And then there's the stories. Don't worry, I have put them back in the order that they were before. But this is the first of those stories. Now, Jeremiah was probably about the same age as Josiah. Whether or not they were friends or not, at least they knew one another. Josiah was greatly respected by Jeremiah, and I think the rest of his life after he died, basically Jeremiah just desperately missed him. But it'd be interesting to know how close they were and how much they talked. I can't help but believe that there was some relationship there. Well, Egypt kills Josiah, as I mentioned last time, the same year that Babylon conquers Nineveh. Egypt is heading north, and Josiah is killed, and they head north to help Assyria. But it's too late. Before they get there, they fall to Babylon. So Egypt turns around and heads back down south. As they're going south, 3 months later, they come to Jerusalem. Josiah's dead. He was a powerful king. They would not have attacked him. But now Josiah's son, Jehoahaz, is king. And he's in transition. Now it's interesting. Jehoahaz is he is the child of Josiah and the wife that he married at 16 years old, the one from the godly camp. Jehoahaz probably was handpicked to be the next king. He was the best of the lot. And probably the mom and the dad trained him in godly ways. The scripture doesn't say that he was a wicked king, because he wasn't king very long. But with all this, with Josiah and his wife working this out so that this godly king would take over, God would have none of it. He just simply set him aside. He just pushed him aside. He promised Josiah that he would not punish the land until he was dead. But he wasn't going to make that promise with the son. So he simply set aside. A little bit of maybe Josiah trying to control the future here. He knew what God had said, but he thought, well, maybe his son could get that same relationship. I don't know. Egypt captures the city, takes the new king away, and what they're doing, they are forming a buffer between Egypt and Babylon. If they hadn't done that, Judah may have yielded to Babylon easily, because after all, they were used to Assyria controlling the area, and Babylon was just simply taking over. But no, Egypt took them over, made them that buffer, kept promising them, now if they come, we'll be there to help you. So when Babylon came, the people of Judah were loyal to Egypt because they had the promise that they could be their own nation. And Egypt kept saying that they would come and help, and so they fought and they fought and they fought, and by doing that, eventually Babylon just had to crush them like the potter's clay and take them off the land. They were set up by Egypt, or really, possibly they were set up by God. Well, Come back next week when we continue on with the next story, the next of the 6 stories from Jeremiah. As we continue on with the story insights of the story of the week. We'll see you next week.